Hi, this is another Byteweiser.com Inkscape tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make a snowflake. It's not too hard, so it's just pretty basic stuff, so let's get started. First we'll take a shape. We'll click on the shape icon and make sure that it's under a regular polygon. I want to make a six-sided polygon, and I'm going to just press Control Shift and click on the screen and drag. And something like that's good. Scoot that in somewhere around the middle. Actually, what I'm going to do is do align and distribute and center this right in the dead center of the page. So I'm going to close that out, and now what I'm going to do is do an object to path on that, because we'll just come back to that later. I'm going to turn on the grid and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. And now I'm going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm going to draw a rectangle about 10 pixels wide. I'm going to make it a different color so I can see it for now. And I'm going to center that up in the center of the page horizontally. I should have left this open, but that's alright. And there we go. Make this a little bit longer, and so now what I need to do is do an object to path on this, and I'm going to select my Edit Paths by Nodes tool, and I'm going to select these top two nodes, and I'm going to place a node right in the center of that. Now I'm going to select that and I'm going to pull it up until the next grid line right there, and I'm going to round that out by smoothing it. And there we go. We got one section of our snowflake complete. What I'm gonna do is bring this up just a little bit. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit just to make this a little bit longer, like that. There we go. Before I go any further, what I want to do is rotate this around so that this is like this, so that the spokes of the snowflake kind of go right into the, go through the corners of each side of this. I guess that'd be a hexagon. So, and I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this spoke right here by pressing Control D, and I'm going to do the Edit Paths by Nodes tool, select these top three nodes here, and I'm just going to bring them down so that this is real short. And the reason I want to do that instead of actually just taking this and shrinking it is because then you'll kind of lose this rounded edge that we want to keep here. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to change this to a different color so I can see it, and I'm going to click on this once. I'm going to move the rotational cursor down here and just bring it out a little bit. Now I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to flip it around horizontally. There we go. And I'm going to duplicate both of these, and then I'm just going to press the down arrow and bring it down. And what this tells me here is that my hexagon is still too big, so I'm going to press Control Shift and again kind of bring this down a little bit. There we go. And now I'm going to perform a union on this. So go to Path and Union. Now what we need to do is we need to go into your Inkscape preferences, and if you go down to steps, you'll want to make this, because the angles of the hexagon are every 60 degrees. We'll want to rotate this and make sure it snaps every 60 degrees. Right here at this menu. I forgot to bring it down into the window that I'm doing for this screencast. You can X out of that. Make sure that your rotation is down at the very bottom of this. And what you can do is just press Control D and then hold Control now and click and drag, and you can do that another 4 times. So just click and drag. Whoop, kind of went off the page there. Control D, and one more time, Control D, and there we go. So we're kind of getting there, and I think now we can actually get rid of this grid. It served its purpose. So now we got all 3 of those, or all 6 of those. I'm gonna select all of these by holding Shift and clicking on all of them, and I'm just gonna do a union on them, so I only have to deal with one of these things. And I'm gonna grab my hexagon. I'm gonna bring that to the well, I'll keep it in the back, and I'm gonna do a Control D to duplicate it. I'm gonna change it to a different color so I can see it, and I'm gonna perform a dynamic offset on it, and I'm just gonna bring that down until it looks like it's roughly the same thickness as the spokes here for my snowflake, and go up when I'm done and do an object path on it. Now I'm gonna press Shift and click on the orange hexagon on the back and perform a difference on it. And I'm gonna do that another couple times. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm gonna duplicate this a couple of times and just shrink it down. So just do Control D and press Control Shift and then click on there and drag it in, and do it another time. Okay, and so that's good. I'm going to perform a union on these two, and well, actually I can just do a union on the whole thing now. So there we go, we're almost there. I'm going to change it to this color. Well, I'll change it to this color, something like this. And last thing that we need to do is we can go to filters, and I think you go to morphology, and you can do cool outside, and that'll give you a nice blue snowflake here. Now you can also, I'm going to duplicate this because I'm going to show you something else that's kind of cool, I guess. I'm going to remove that filter, and I'm going to change the color a little bit and go into morphology again and do a warm inside. I think it kind of looks like a fire snowflake, and I thought that was kind of cool, so I thought I'd show you that too. So that's it. That's all it takes to make a nice looking snowflake for the wintertime. Bye.